Tensione altissima a Caracas, nella capitale venezuelana, tira aria di colpo di Stato non militare. Dopo l'ennesima manifestazione contro il presidente Maduro, il capo dell'opposizione Juan Guaidó, presidente dell'Assemblea nazionale, si è autoproclamato presidente del paese davanti a milioni di sostenitori, ma soprattutto con l'esplicito appoggio degli Stati Uniti, con Donald Trump che ha subito riconosciuto con grande tempestività il nuovo presidente, così come l'OSA, l'Organizzazione degli Stati Americani. Il paese intanto è nel caos assoluto dopo mesi di proteste, marce e scontri con le forze di polizia. Maduro è un dittatore con un potere illegittimo, è la tesi dell'opposizione che denuncia violenze e soprusi. Non ha mai vinto elezioni libere e regolari e ha mantenuto il potere imprigionando chiunque osasse opporsi. Gli scontri, dicevamo, non sono mancati nemmeno oggi. 5 persone sono morte, tra le vittime un giovane di 16 anni rimasto ucciso in una sparatoria. I momenti più difficili si sono vissuti nella zona della Catia, un quartiere popolare molto vicino al palazzo presidenziale. A Caracas nel pomeriggio hanno manifestato anche i sostenitori del presidente, inneggiando a Maduro e al chavismo, atteso sul palco lo stesso presidente Maduro nella sua prima apparizione in un luogo all'aperto dopo mesi.
Asumir formalmente las competencias del Ejecutivo Nacional como el presidente encargado de Venezuela.
atrás, hasta arriba, vale. Cigarro. Habla de prensa. ¡Corran, coño! Cigarrillo, con la cotupa que tiene por allá el comidillo. Cigarrillo. Maduro, vete esta maldita mierda, becerro, que no te queremos, maldito. Acá Maduro con su padre. ¿Dónde está la prensa? No hay la prensa. ¡Maduro, maldito!
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
New tonight, the socialist dictatorship in Venezuela is potentially less than 24 hours from ceasing to exist. And in a desperate last-minute scramble, is blaming the people's discontent not on their own economic failures, not on their own socialist policies, not on their own corruption, but on the United States and our vice president. Former vice president, I should say, because we no longer recognize her, of that socialist country, Delcy Rodriguez, going so far as to actually suggest that it is our vice president, Mike Pence, that is inciting violence in her country after he issued this message. Watch.
Nicolas Maduro is a dictator with no legitimate claim to power. He's never won the presidency in a free and fair election, and he's maintained his grip of power by imprisoning anyone who dares to oppose him. The United States supports the courageous decision by Juan Gualdo, the President of your National Assembly, to assert that body's constitutional powers, declare Maduro a usurper, and call for the establishment of a transitional government.
So somehow that's the equivalent of inciting violence? Keep in mind, Mr. Maduro and Ms. Delcy Rodriguez are trying to create their own fictitious realities. Case in point, the former vice president tried to tell me with a straight face that Venezuela, a country that has left its people to starve effectively, is a model for the rest of the world. Watch.
Venezuela, it's a model of justice, of protection.
Unfortunately, a model of poverty. I mean, I don't know how you can dispute that. I've seen all of the video, and I have been to Venezuela, and I so appreciate the people. They are truly wonderful. But I'm saddened because there is a reality on the ground there that I think is incredibly challenging economically for you. This is a country that was once, per capita, income-wise, the best in Latin America, and now you have 90% of the people living in poverty. I can't see how you're going to hold it up on a pedestal and say this is a system anyone should admire.
I repeat and invite you not to repeat fake news.
Fake news. When it is her government, Nicolas Maduro, Delcy Rodriguez, holding 5 innocent Americans hostage. She can't keep the lights on in her country. She can't pay the bills in her country. You've got inflation that's rampant, expected to be more than 10 million% in the coming year. That is the reality in Venezuela. And it is a reality we cannot and should not ever allow here. CC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, Bill de Blasio. Joining me right now is former Trump and Bush State Department official Christian Whiten, as well as exiled Venezuelan mayor David Smolansky, a prominent member of the opposition itself. Good to have you both here. David, I'm going to start with you. Are you concerned about the safety and the well-being of people in the opposition right now? You're in exile, you've been able to get out, you're doing what you can from afar, but for those on the ground, what kind of danger are they in tonight?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Today, the regime threatened again the opposition, specifically Voluntad Popular in Spanish, People's Will, that we are that we are creating violence. And the only ones that are creating violence in Venezuela is the regime. In these 20 years, more than 300,000 people have been killed because of crime. More than 400 people are are detained because of political reasons. There are political prisoners like Leopoldo Lopez, who is the Secretary General of Voluntad.
I just want to remind the viewers that his wife Lillian was on the program just last night and also on Friday night, which I would point out takes a lot of bravery because she's at risk, a mother of three, for speaking out. Anybody who speaks out and is living in that country is at risk. Christian, what is the U.S. doing? How are we helping? I know that the Vice President is expressing his support, but is that enough? What do you anticipate happening in the next couple days?
Yeah, I think that support is very important. Speaking with clarity, this is a night and day difference from the Obama administration. Well, you'll recall that President Obama himself gave Chavez the brother handshake in a very all-smiley meeting they had, and where Obama established relations with the key Chavez ally, the Castros in Cuba, and sent his most important White House foreign policy aide to Castro's funeral. We've changed 180 degrees from that, speaking clearly, and Pence really has done a remarkable job focusing on this, keeping attention on this, and now siding unequivocally with the people of Venezuela against this socialist, repressive, tyrannical government that hopefully is on the way out.
Hey, Christian, why is this so important? I mean, you get the Russians down there, you get the Iranians. Delcy Rodriguez told me herself, they're doing business with all of them. The Russians, the Iranians, the Chinese. I would think, given the proximity to the U.S., we would actually, for our own selfish reasons, would want to have a better relationship with the Venezuelans than, say, the Iranians do, right?
Yes, absolutely, for the reasons you cited and also for economic ones. There's been a remarkable turnaround in South America. It hasn't quite made it to the Bronx here in America or to Central America, but the right really has risen in South America. We saw it in Argentina first, then more recently with Bolsonaro elected in Brazil, proper right-wing control there. And finally, Venezuela, these countries which were either in the case of Argentina, first world countries or close to it, that were just devastated by socialism, finally turning the page. Hopefully, it will be fantastic for the United States. This is our backyard. These are our close neighbors. And as an oil exporter, Venezuela really can bounce back.
It would be great for Venezuela. David, very quickly, I know that you and your family have basically spent generations running from socialism, from the former Soviet Union, Cuba, Venezuela. What is your hope right now for your country?
I have a lot of hope at this moment. Tomorrow we're going to see a historical protest, not only in Venezuela, where I'm sure hundreds of thousands of people are going to the streets, but also we're going to have a worldwide protest in more than 100 cities. And I think we're very close to restore democracy in Venezuela. We're really close to restore freedom in Venezuela. We're really close to stop this humanitarian crisis, this hyperinflation, these crime rates, and all the work that the brave people are doing in Venezuela and the ones that are in exile is something that the next generations are going to appreciate. So the next hours are very important for Venezuela, and it's for us, I'm sorry to take a bit longer, for us it's very important that tomorrow, because there's no media in Venezuela. There's a lot of censorship in Venezuela. It's very important that you could share all the images and all the videos that the protests will have in Venezuela.
Well, you can count on us. We're going to continue to stay on this.